Alright guys, in this video we are going to be talking about the best weapons to use for each of the three archer classes. There's actually quite a bit of debate on this. Some people think that the new Freya's crossbow is not powerful enough. Others think that it is too powerful. And I think that that has partial to do with just a misunderstanding of what it does. So we're going to go into that in this video. But before we go into all of the weapons and all of the classes, I'm just going to give you an overview of the weapons in Frostborn for the bow. Actually, historically, when we first started this game, the archer was king. I mean, archer won. And it wasn't because of this main bow, the dragon bow that you see here. That was the main bow for the archer, and it was okay. It had 53 DPS, which wasn't bad. But you know, the damage was pretty low and it was just kind of a normal bow. But what really broke the game very early on is when they introduced the fire bow. This was one of the first super weapons in the game, and there was a while that it was so powerful it was literally the only weapon anyone used in Frostborn. There was no this class and that class. I mean, you would see people in full plate gear with fire bows. That part of that was because they didn't quite specialize it. Anyways, the point is the game was not balanced and the fire bow ruled Frostborn, and has never not been a good weapon in Frostborn. It's always been one of the best weapons in Frostborn, and that's because it's got that, you know, this is 53 DPS. The fire bow's got 54 DPS, so it's already better in DPS. And then it had a 10 burn damage per second. And way back when, 10 burn damage a second, just nothing could compete with it. It just would shred anyone. There was no other weapons like it. The closest weapon to it was the poison bow. In fact, it actually used to be 16 damage per second. Is that right, Floppower? Do I got that number right?
Yeah, they nerfed the fireball.
They nerfed it because it just nothing could compete with it. And
Yes.
and then even when the archer classes came into play, you know, people eventually started wearing medium armor, but it was like archers versus archers versus archers, and they were pretty much sharpshooters versus sharpshooters versus sharpshooters. That was Frostborn. It was kind of dumb, but they eventually balanced the game. And then they added, or the 5-shot crossbow was also one of the originals. It was in there. It's, again, an extremely powerful weapon because not only does it do a cone attack like the cleaver or the fire axe, but it does it at a range. And so just to show people who are new to Frostborn, you get a big group like this, you get them all together, and then you shoot them, and it does damage to everyone, which is just really OP. So I'm going to go ahead and reset these guys. So that's the 5-shot crossbow. The 5-shot crossbow is still the best weapon to use anytime that you can hit 2 or more targets together. No matter how amazing crossbows have gotten, if you can hit, well, I say that. With the new crossbow, let's just say if you can hit 3 or more targets, it's always the best weapon. If there's ever a base defense or something where you can guarantee you're going to be hitting multiple enemies at the same time, then the 5-shot crossbow is going to be the best weapon for any class in which you can do that. Definitely there's a lot of PvE context in which you can do that, and again, it is the best weapon for that scenario. They added the dragon bite. The dragon bite is really just a durability efficient weapon. It's really good for PvE. It's got a very high attack, 50 attack, and it's got a plus 15% if you're in tombs. Okay, so then the next weapon in question. So those are the 4 purple weapons. Honestly, I think a fire bow should be considered a legendary weapon. It has always been a legendary weapon in Frostborn. I think someday they may make it a legendary weapon because honestly, it just kind of is. So, but it is not technically one. And so I covered those 4 purple weapons in Frostborn. And then recently they added the stun bow, which has a 20% chance of stunning a target. It has 72.5 DPS, which is a pretty insane DPS. They've always given archers really good DPS. 72 DPS is really good damage. When you take the firebow, which has 54 DPS, plus the 10 true DPS, you're talking about significantly more than that. Which at first, if you're a low-level player, the firebow is going to be better because that true damage. Remember that true damage is going to ignore their armor, and so if you're a level 1 archer, the firebow is your jam. Do the firebow. But if you're a level, like right now I'm a level 4 Pathfinder, I'm gonna have plus 80% to my crossbow damage. That 72 DPS turns into almost 130. It's like 130 DPS, whereas that firebow is going to turn into maybe 90 DPS, and then I still have that true damage. It's still good. The firebow is still good, but not nearly as good as the stun bow. If I'm a high level, if I'm a level 1 enemy, then the firebow is still better. But then they added this new weapon, and this new weapon has 72.5 DPS, the same as the stun bow. In fact, everything on the attack rate is the same, but instead of stunning them 20% of the time, 15% of the time, it roots them and poisons them. So we are going to try to get that to proc to see just how powerful that might be. And honestly, it's not going to work because none of these mobs are really strong enough. Let's see if we can make it. I'm not going to be able to make it work. I only get 2 shots on these giants for it to work. And with a 1/7% chance, or a 15% chance, the chances of me getting it are slim. So I really need to go to Odin's. Okay, well, we're heading to Odin's. Flaw Power, do you have any thoughts right now? I haven't really talked about which bow's better, mainly because we need to understand how much poison damage the Freya's bow does before we compare it to the stun bow. But do you have any just initial thoughts on what might be better based on the different classes?
I think the Freya crossbow is the best for any classes.
Really? Even though the stun bow procs more often?
Yes.
And has the same DPS?
The poison sounds very OP.
Okay, yeah, we need to find out the poison before we figure this out. All right, we got a giant. Gonna see if this we can proc this poison. 4. There it is. 5 damage a second. I don't feel like that's that much. So I'm doing 100 damage a shot, and I only did 5 poison damage a second. There it is. The immobilization's so short. And the damage does not last. The poison damage, it says it lasts for 4 seconds. I don't believe it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it does. It didn't lie to me. I don't know. Extra 5 damage a second makes it. So you're saying. So what do you think, Flaw Power? 5 to 6 damage a second extra. True damage ignores armor. That puts it at, DPS of 77, but that only happens every once in a while. It immobilizes them. They're still going to be able to shoot back. So maybe it'll still be good against melee characters, but it's such a short immobilization. Versus getting to stun them every 5 shots for a whole second. Oh, there is a 15-second cooldown on the stun bow. For once you stun someone, there's 15 seconds before you can do it again.
You tried with a Berserk potion to see if the poison is better, maybe?
Okay.
Because it's based on the damage.
Let's try it. Yeah, let's try it.
So maybe if you have a family PvP and someone have the sorcerer boost with the circle, you can do maybe 10 poison damage. for 4 seconds.
Alright, let's try it.
It's 30% of the poison damage.
Yeah, but I'm a Pathfinder 4 right now, so I'm kind of... There we go. 5. No, it didn't. It's the same amount of poison damage.
Whoa.
So I
That's
have a
real.
feeling. I mean, I'm a Pathfinder 4. I have a feeling that it's not based on weapon damage. There's no way it could be less than 5 poison damage. It's just not good enough. So I don't think it scales.
Maybe.
Because if it doesn't scale, then here, let's find out. Let's find out. I'm gonna switch to a Hunter 2. So I'm moving from a Pathfinder 4 to a Hunter 2, and I'll switch my Wolf to this Badger or Beaver, and so I won't get any of the monster bonuses. So I've really debuffed myself significantly. I'm doing way less damage. Yeah, it's still the same poison damage. So now this could be a glitch. It could be that they meant for it to scale and it's not. So it's just giving the lowest amount. And if that's the case, then maybe when they fix it, it actually is OP. So let's say if it's not scaling properly, then generally through classes and and stuff like that, you could get your archer weapons up to at least double. So let's say it goes up to 10 or 12 poison damage. That would be a lot, but it's still only a 15% chance. That's pretty low.
I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, I'm honestly...
Because the thing is, with the stun bow, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a 20% chance instead of 15, whereas 20 and 15 don't seem very much different. But in my mind, a stun for 1 second is going to be far superior than an extra 20 true damage. Well, and a little root. You know, I'll say in solo PvP, I'm saying stun bow. Stun bow, because stunning a person for 1 second is so valuable. It's just amazing. So I would say the stun bow is going to be better in the context of solo one-on-one PvP, but in team PvP, usually fights are just you go at it, right? You're just going at it until it's over, and you get that 1 second stun, and then it's over. You can't like leave the fight and be like, I gotta wait for 15 seconds before I can stun this guy again, or I'm gonna do this and that. You gotta just fight. And so now you could fight the other guy, and the cooldown, I don't know if the cooldown on the stun bow is per player or if it's per bow. All right, I'm gonna go find this out right now. All right, got a stun on this guy. I'm gonna move to this guy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then it stunned him. Oh, that was so close. Okay, so you guys know the result of what the editor just edited, but I don't. And so I'm gonna try again. 2, 3, 4. Okay, get it. There we go. Stun. Gotta try to get this guy stunned. In time. It didn't work. No. I need to actually set a timer. Okay. I got a timer set up for 15 seconds. We're gonna try this one more time. This is what I enjoy doing this for you guys, but we'll see if we can actually, make this work. There was a stun. Timer, go. I'm gonna die trying to do this. No, I didn't get a stun. I've got 5 seconds left. It's not gonna work. Time's up. I get it. Okay, I didn't stun it in time. Stop. Okay, dismiss. Alright, that didn't work at all, and I almost died. There was a stun! Start! Come on, stun. Give me a stun. I'm not getting the stun. It doesn't work. I got the stun right after the timer. It's over. It's been proven.
Yeah,
I think it's per bow. All right, if the editor, whatever he edited, shows that it was within the 15 seconds, then this whole video is going to be hilarious wrong. But I think, looking back, I think that first clip y'all saw that I don't see, it was after the 15-second mark when the next stun happened. And so that proves it. It's based on bow. And so if that's the case, which it seems like it seems pretty clear that it is, then the stun bow is going to be, it could be better in solo PvP because honestly, a 1-second stun can really make a big disruption. That extra 20 damage, let's say it goes up to 40 damage, honestly probably isn't going to make as big of a difference as a 1-second stun. A 1-second stun can disrupt skills. It can really throw things off. It can force a dispel. There's so much that it can do. And so you're going to almost get guaranteed that one stun. It's going to make a pretty big difference in a solo PvP setting. But let me look at the different classes. So as a hunter, actually, you know what? This is interesting. So, and you chime in, Flaw Power, whenever you want. But I'm gonna guess that the stun bow, is gonna be definitely the best weapon in solo PvP as a Pathfinder. Why you're doing solo PvP as a Pathfinder, I don't know. But if you are going to, it's gonna be your best weapon. You're gonna get in there. You're gonna just try to do the damage. You're going to get that stun. It's going to help. Sharpshooter in solo PvP, it could be good, but you're going to want to wait until it procs before you use your stun. Because otherwise you could stun them and then shoot them and it would just say you're immune. You don't know when the stun bow is going to proc. Well, you have a thought, Flopper?
Yeah, I think you're right with the sharpshooter. You can stun chain with the stun bow and the skill.
Yes, you can stun chain, which is good, but you have to time it right. And you need, and in order to time it right, you have to make sure your bow procs first. After that, which might mean you want to throw in some bolas into your equation, but it's going to be a little bit of a hard factor. You timing that because you want to get your bow to get that proc. You don't know when the bow is going to get proc the stun. And so solo PvP, I would say I still might say the stun bow for the sharpshooter, but the Freya's crossbow is gonna be up there because you don't have to worry about that. You just run your stun chain of stun hammer, frost arrow, and you just lay into them right away. You just do your skills, and if you get that proc, if it does proc that extra 20 to 40 damage, assuming the bow's broken, if not, it's just 20 extra damage, then you're getting all that DPS plus that extra true damage, which could be the determining factor to finish them off. And then as a hunter, man, this is a tricky one because the hunter, you have the ability to wait until that right moment, right? Because you can run faster than people. You shoot them, you run, you shoot them, you run. Getting that stun could be pretty amazing. You get that stun, you lean in, you're like, this is my time. If you didn't work out very well, you just run away from them until the 15 seconds is up, and then you've got another stun on the stun bow. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking, go ahead.
The hunter can reduce the healing, so if you proc the poison with the crossbow at the same time.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. So having that reducing healing by 50% for 9 seconds, maybe even higher. I forget what Hunter 4 is. And you're dealing some damage. So you throw that mortal shot on them and you just say, I'm going to lean into you. And I get that poison damage. You could also shoot them, run away, shoot them, run away until you get that proc. As soon as that poison damage hits, that's when you're like, all right, now I'm leaning in. You throw down the mortal shot and you just fight it out with them and you're faster than them. Okay, I see that. I can see why that might... and then you might get another proc because unlike the stun bow, there's no 15-second cooldown.
Yep.
Okay, I can go with you on that. So, okay, so we're going to say solo PvP. The stun bow is going to be better for the Pathfinder. The sharpshooter, probably the stun bow, but honestly, the Freya's bow might be better. Honestly, I haven't played the sharpshooter in a while. I could see someone say, no, screw it. I don't want to time the stun bow. I'm just going to get that Freya's bow, and I'm going to use my stun timing. And if that, and basically I just kill people with my stun lock, or my stun chain, and if I get the extra damage, I get the extra damage. Otherwise, but the stun bow is going to be worthless to me because it's probably going to proc when I'm already got him stunned. So I'm going to leave that up to other people that play the sharpshooter more. If you guys play the sharpshooter more, you let me know. Solo PvP, sharpshooter, Freya's, just lean into them, do your stun chain, or do you go ahead and try to make the stun bow start the stun chain, and then you got a really long stun chain. I want to know y'all's opinion. And then with the Hunter, I think Flaw Power convinced me that the Freya's bow is going to be the best for the Hunter. Shoot 'em, run, wait until that procs. Then you've got that plus 5% that plus 5 or more if the bow's broken, true damage. That's when you mortal shot him and you lean into him. That's the beauty of the Hunter. You get to pick your fight, and that's the time to fight. Okay, so that's solo PvP. In team PvP, I am thinking that the Freya's bow is going to be better than the stun bow because of that 15-second cooldown. A 1-second stun on one player is not going to make for 15 seconds because we just did that huge long test to show you can't kill this guy and then stun another guy. It's based on bow, so you get probably one stun per fight. 1 second is not a whole lot. Whereas if you're the damage dealer, you're trying to melt someone quickly. You're the main guy, especially if you're Pathfinder. But honestly, I would say any of these guys, if you're the archer for your team, you're going to be a damage dealer for your team. You got 72 DPS. The Freya's crossbow is going to be the best weapon, definitely for the Pathfinder. Definitely for the sharpshooter, and I would say definitely for the Hunter. I think all three of them are similar in team PvP, and your goal as the damage dealer of your team is to do damage, and as much damage as you can. You're going to be able to proc that poison on average more than the stun bow, because the stun bow you're going to average 1 at best. And whereas the Freya's bow, you might only get it once, you might only proc it once. But honestly, if you're doing the job and your team is keeping you safe like they're supposed to because you're the damage dealer, you're gonna get more than 7. You're gonna get maybe 14 shots off, maybe more. You're gonna proc that damage, and that damage is gonna help melt them down because whoever you're shooting is your team usually. I don't know if I've ever played with a team that doesn't do this. Whoever the damage dealer is shooting, that's who you're wanting to melt. And so that extra damage is going to make some difference. And then if they change it, again, right now it's only doing 5, 5, 6, 6. So that's 22 damage. If they change it to where it scales based on being a higher level, then it's going to be even more so. But I'd say even as it is, that extra 22 damage is going to be a bigger deal than a 1 second stun when you're talking about team play, mainly because you have to factor in your role. And if you are an archer, you are going to be you're going to be a damage dealer. And so your goal will be to do the damage, and the Freya staff's going to deliver those results. So that's it, guys. I hope that helps. I think to recap, in solo PvP, the best weapon for all three the best weapon for the Pathfinder is going to be the stun bow. But for the hunter, we're going to say the Freya's bow is going to be, the Freya's crossbow is going to be the best weapon for solo PvP. And then the sharpshooter, I'm pretty sure it's Freya's. But those of you who are often play a sharpshooter in solo PvP can put down, whether or not you think, no, actually it's pretty easy to start the stun chain with the stun bow, even though it's inconsistent, it's pretty easy to make it happen. Put that below. That would be really helpful to know. But I'm gonna guess that the Freya's bow is better in solo PvP. And then in team PvP, a lot of the archers all act the same, and that is to do crazy damage really fast. Obviously, there's some differences. The Pathfinder marks for the team, everyone's supposed to focus on them all the more to do that extra damage. The sharpshooter has some stuns and some slows that can kind of help with the team PvP, but ultimately you're just there to do damage. And even the hunter, even though the hunter can run away fast and chase people fast, in team PvP, its ultimate goal is always, its first goal is always to just melt whoever the target is that the team needs to be killing. And so all three of them, the Freya's bow is going to deliver more, it's going to proc more, it's going to help them get to their goal. So it's the best weapon for all those classes. All right, guys. See you next time.